The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
1 week away from the Jets and the Steelers. We are almost there, Jet fans. Today we're talking about Mark Sanchez's comments on how the Jets can win with Justin Fields. Brandyn Pokrass from Badlands joins us. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Joining us right now is a new member of the ESPN family. He's with
Nobody gives a shit.
Oh, that was great. That was perfect. Nobody gives a shit.
The 2025 New York Jets season is officially here. Can Aaron Glenn lead the team back to the playoffs and finally deliver on the promise this roster has shown? Every step of the journey, the Jake Asman Show will have you covered, breaking down all the storylines of every game and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Oh, baby, here we go. We are presented by FanDuel. Jets, Steelers, 1 week from today. We'll have some bets on that game on this show throughout the week, so stay tuned for that. Lot to talk about here. Hope everyone's having a great Labor Day weekend thus far. I'm doing radio tomorrow morning. I'm working on Labor Day. You can hear me and Ty Butler doing the morning show on ESPN New York from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So if you want to listen, download the ESPN New York app, or if you're in the car early on Labor Day in the New York area, 8:80 a.m. is the place to be. Real quick, this would be a huge help from the Asmaniacs. I have a new sponsor that's about to come on board, and the sponsorship is very Instagram, social media heavy. So if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, please do so. The link is in the description for the video. I'm putting it in the live chat as well. It's just at Jake Asman. If you're watching right now on your phone, you could follow me there. But it would be a huge help if you guys could follow me on Instagram at Jake Asman. It's just my first name. That's my Twitter handle. And you can follow at Jake Asman Show as well if you want a bunch of clips from the show. With that said, let's say hello to a good friend of the show. He's a contributor now for Badlands, huge Jets guy, and someone we love having on. Brandyn Pokrass joins us now. Brandyn, B-Poc, 1 week till the season. How we feeling?
Feeling good. Appreciate you having me on today. And it feels crazy because I feel like it was just the start of training camp, and now you blink and the regular season starts next week.
Whoa. What is that? You hear that noise? What is that? B-Poc? I think it was your mic. It was like a bomb going off. B-Poc, reset your StreamYard and come back, and then hopefully that works. I've had a lot of tech issues before. I've never heard that noise. That did not sound good. Hopefully B-Poc is okay. On that note, here's what we're going to do. B-Poc's going to reset his StreamYard, and I'm going to tee up this sound for Mark Sanchez that we're going to be discussing on the show. By the way, happy birthday to Sauce Gardner. He turns 25 today, so I'll share this before I play the Sanchez cut. We're going to give away a Sauce jersey at the end of this stream, so if you want a Sauce jersey, gift the membership or send in a super chat, and you will be entered in our raffle. Our weekly raffle will be on Tuesday. This is your last show to enter. We're giving away a signed Fields jersey, signed Sack Exchange jersey, and a signed Sauce Gardner jersey. But happy birthday to Sauce. We'll give away a Sauce jersey in the color of your choosing at the end of the show. I mentioned Mark Sanchez. He was a guest on the Rich Eisen show, friend of the show, Rich Eisen, of course. And this was Mark Sanchez being asked by Rich about the state of the Jets and how they could actually go out there and win games with Justin Fields. Good insight here from Mark. We'll play it, and then B-Poc and I will break it down.
This is a tough one because I think, you get Justin Fields, and, calling their preseason game earlier this season. I called preseason game 2 against the Giants, and that was just a tough outing. I got to watch both of their joint practices. I thought the Jets looked much better in the practices than they did in the game, which, take that for what you want. It's not always going to be perfect in games, but you'd like to see something. This team has got to be the way they're built and their personnel. They've shored up the offensive line. They've gone with some young talent on the outside, both tackles, right? And they got to run the football. I mean, Braylon Allen and Breece Hall have to be absolutely worn out. And if they really want to be good and win some games, they're going to have to win with some tough defense, which Aaron Glenn is going to inject into this team. He's inheriting a solid group so long as, Johnston's healthy, coming back from some injuries, and then Quinnen Williams obviously missed a lot of the preseason. Is he going to be all right? You get those two guys together with some of their other veteran talent, I think they got a legit defense. I like where they're at on defense, but Justin Fields is going to have to be a part of the run game, and there's this need for a wide receiver too. Who's going to step up besides Garrett Wilson? Because he got doubled in that preseason game a couple times. They forced the ball to him. Balls on the ground, getting tipped away. You got to have somebody that the defense has to scheme and game plan for somebody other than Garrett Wilson. Is that going to be Mason Taylor, the rookie tight end? Is that going to be one of these other receivers by committee? Like, who's that going to be? Arian Smith from Georgia? We got to solve the drops. There's still a lot to be desired in the passing game, unfortunately, but I think they're going to make a little bit of a run. They're going to scare some teams because they're tough, because they play the type of defense that Aaron Glenn wants. They're going to erase some poor offensive drives with turnovers by the defense. That's what he preaches. You might move the ball between the 20s, but I'm taking that ball away at some point, and we're going the other way with it. But if they want to be good, they better run the heck out of the ball. We're talking 30-plus rushes a game, and and they got to play some great defense and steal some. They got to be better on special teams too, Rich. I'm sorry, bury the headline. They lost about 3 games on special teams last year. It was horrible. Mm-hmm. That was tough. And, I mean, those 3 games changed the course of their season just with a field goal kick here or there. And so I think Nick Folk can help shore that up. But special teams has to be a weapon. Defense has to take the ball away, and the offense got to run the heck out of it.
So I think you hear from Mark Sanchez there. And by the way, kind of fitting, he's talking about Nick Folk, right? Mark Sanchez knows a thing or two about what Nick Folk could do to help win some games, a la playoff games. Let's say hello to BPOC. We think his mic situation is figured out. Now, you didn't hear what it sounded like, BPOC, but it sounded like there was a bomb going off. So I hope everything's okay in your room there.
Yeah, I hope so. We sounded better?
We sound great. So what did you make of those comments there from Mark Sanchez? I think the biggest thing that I personally noticed is him talking about the defense forcing turnovers. And I went and looked it up just for the sake of comparison. Last year, the New York Jets defense forced only 17 turnovers, and that was among the worst in the league a season ago. So while the Jets' yards per game allowed were top 3 in the league, they didn't turn teams over. They obviously had some fourth quarter collapses, but I think that's such a key for this defense. It's not just being good statistically, it's being so much better in that key stat of turning the ball over. That's going to make a huge difference for this team.
I mean, I think I would agree with that point 100%, because if you look at the construction of this roster, this is a defense that's going to have to be opportunistic, right? Like, we're in year 1 of Aaron Glenn. Like, this isn't what the final form or what you hope the final form of the roster is going to look like. Like, obviously, there's still some holes, some things they still need to solve on that offensive side of the ball, specifically with the weapons, which I'm sure we'll get into. But when it comes to the defense, yeah, like, the best defenses don't only limit yardage and don't only keep teams out of the end zone, they also take the ball away. They also take advantage of the mistakes that they force opposing offenses into. And I think, yes, that number does need to be higher. That number does need to be better for the Jets to win football games this year.
I think when you look at what happened last year, it wasn't until the Jaguars game that a player besides Brandon Echols had an interception for the Jets, and that was the sauce interception against Mac Jones at the very end. And what week was that Jaguars game? Like week 12, week 30? Like it was late in the year. The Jets season was already cooked at that point. I think that's the biggest key, honestly. I think the defense will be a lot better this year because, to Sanchez's point, that's what Aaron Glenn preaches. He wants them to be opportunistic. They might allow more yards. That's fine. But I want this team to blitz more, be more aggressive, give yourself a chance to hit a quarterback's arm and the ball pops up in the air for an interception or recover a fumble. And for the love of God, can the Jets fall on a fumble if there's a loose ball? How many times have there been a loose ball and there's an opportunity for someone to fall on it and the Jets never seem to come up with it?
Yeah, that's one of those things where maybe you have some better turnover luck with that, and maybe that swings a game or two. And I think it also ties into the offense because, everything in football is intertwined. I think the type of offense the Jets want to run, I think the idea of it is you put teams in uncomfortable positions where you're punching them in the mouth, you're putting them on the back foot, and then you're forcing their opposing offense because the overall team is being tight because wow, the Jets are driving down the field, they're running the ball, they're punching us in the mouth. Maybe you force an offense into something they don't want to do, and then you capitalize on that. It all ties together, and I think for the Jets defense to have the success they want, the offense needs to succeed. And for the offense to have the success they want, the defense needs to succeed in ways that they didn't last year. It's going to be fascinating to see because I think everyone's talked about it, right? It's a talented team, but it's still a pretty young team. They took a lot of flyers, whether it's free agency or obviously the draft, on a lot of young players. We don't know what the ceiling of a lot of these players are. We also don't know what the floor is. So it's going to be fascinating. But yeah, if the defense can force maybe, let's say, 10 more turnovers, maybe 15, if we're pushing it, that can be a big difference in a lot of these games.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Brandyn Pokrass, contributor for Badlands, is with us here. We're giving away, in honor of Sauce Gardner's birthday, we are giving away a Sauce Gardner jersey. At the end of the show, you could request it in green or white. And if you win, we shall send it to you in the size of your choice. Huge shout out to everyone who's entered the raffle so far. J-Boy was the first to do it. He gifted 5 memberships. Snowball, who, by the way, Snowball and Johnny Boy, they had Green Bean and Jets Chaos on their show on Friday, and it was absolutely hilarious. So go check that out, Jet fans. DT in the house, Dylan Terraman now. He is live, almost at 1,000 subs. He's watching. He gifted a membership. And Black Gypsy also gifting 1 channel membership. So we are up to 12 entries in the Asmaniac raffle. Keep it coming, baby. We're 1 week away from New York Jets football.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Now, Brandon, some of the other comments I want to hit on from Sanchez there. He said he called the preseason game. We all heard that, him and Ian Eagle, that Jets-Giants game. He was at the joint practices as well. And he's talking about the lack of a number 2 wide receiver in this offense. What is your level of concern with the passing game, especially the lack of that bona fide number 2 pass catcher after Garrett Wilson, of course, being the unquestioned number 1?
I think there's always going to be a level of concern because in the modern NFL, a lot of the best teams have 2 options they can rely on at the wideout position. The best teams can threaten down the field with 2 separate guys. But I think what I'm more interested in is what does this Jets scheme lend to basically maybe not needing a number 2 wideout in year 1, right? What does, for example, Breece Hall's usage in the passing game look like? Is he essentially your bona fide number 2 wideout in terms of the target share and, getting him in space and getting him the ball and using his touches to free up Garrett Wilson? Do they put a lot on Mason Taylor's plate and basically have him be a vertical threat and a basically pass catcher that allows Garrett Wilson to be free because Mason Taylor is taking up a lot over the middle, right? I'm very interested to see the deployment of these other weapons and maybe if they can create a wide receiver 2 production in the aggregate between a Josh Reynolds and some of the other guys that they have. But, once again, it comes back to the point that this Jets offense is going to run the football and that is going to be their identity. And I think their hope is Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and hopefully Mason Taylor, and maybe even a little bit of Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis in there too, really help this offense offset the fact that they don't have a number 2 wideout. And look, we could be here 2-3 weeks from now being like, hey, the Jets are really feeling the absence of a true number 2 guy. Teams are taking away Garrett Wilson. They're not running the ball the way they should be, etc. There's also the world where we come on here and Jets fans are talking and analysts are talking about how, hey, no one can really stop this Jets run game. The offensive line looks incredible. They're getting great push off the ball, and Breece and Braylon are doing this. And hey, Garrett Wilson, doesn't matter what they're throwing at him. He's getting open and Fields is hitting him. There's the range of both outcomes, obviously. And obviously you want that number 2. But until I see it on the field, one way or the other, I feel like I can't really make like, oh, sweeping, they're going to feel it or they're not going to feel it, because we do need to see Mason Taylor in action, and we do need to see how they use the running backs in this passing game.
I just think unless they could get someone to emerge there, it's just going to be tough at times for this offense, because Garrett's going to be doubled a lot, and you're really asking a lot of like Tanner Engstrand to scheme guys open. Now, I do think they will use Brees as just an outright wide receiver. I think people are going to be surprised how often Brees is going to be lining up in the slot, trying to get matchups against a linebacker or a safety for him. I think we are going to see Mason Taylor play a role right away. It's just asking a lot from a rookie tight end to be that guy. So I hope Taylor is awesome, but I think that's one of the variables with this team. Like, how quickly can a rookie tight end be a focal point of the offense?
1000%. And it's something that, at least on the offensive side of the ball, a lot of Jet fans haven't been accustomed to. A rookie being drafted, coming in here, and just producing right away. That's something that you haven't been able to count on in years past. And if Taylor can do that, I think it does change the complexion of the offense. And I think if the offensive coordinator, it basically schemes up a lot of great stuff for Brees right away, you're looking at a much better outlook for the passing game than I think you would have thought early on in July looking at the roster.
Sanchez said that he thinks the Jets could go on a run. He referenced running the ball 30-plus times a game. That's the last time the Jets had some sustained success with Mark Sanchez and the ground and pound offense around him. Are you bullish on the running attack, Brandon? Do you think the Jets will be one of the best rushing teams in the league?
I do, yeah. I really do think that. And obviously pending health, because we can't predict health going forward. This is football. Things happen. I think if everyone stays healthy, I think this is one of the better rushing attacks in the NFL. Now, the thing is, what does the passing attack look like? This all ties back together, because the questions about the number 2 wideout may mean defenses feel a lot better about crowding the box and doubling Garrett, and how did the Jets overcome that? And then that snowballs into other conversations. But yeah, I mean, I think against a good chunk of teams on their schedule, the Jets are going to be able to run the ball at will, and they're going to be able to really just basically exert their will on their opposition. The biggest question is, in those games against maybe the team above them in a weight class or tier, how do the Jets overcome that? Can they do different things with their run game, the play action game, and with Fields at quarterback, where, hey, no matter what opponent they're facing, the Jets run game is successful? Or is it one of those things where against teams worse than them, the Jets absolutely just mow people over, and then against teams better than them, they struggle? So that's going to be something to watch.
Will says Garrett is going to play the slot. I do think we'll see Garrett all over the place, and he'll be in motion a lot to try and get him free releases off the line of scrimmage. And I don't think the offense is going to be that complex from a passing standpoint. I think it's going to be like 1 read here, 2 read here, either tuck it and run if you're Justin Fields, or check it down. Like, I don't think they're going to be asking him to do a ton. They're going to rely on the scheme of running, and they're going to rely on just allowing Justin Fields to do what he does best, which means a lot of RPOs, designed quarterback keepers. We didn't see anything in the preseason of what they're actually going to do with Fields specifically.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, comparing last year, may not understand this yet. The run game scheme is going to be a lot better designed. That, I think, especially later in the year, a lot of the problems you ran into with the run game is that it was a lot of basic run concepts. It was a lot of things that were just very easy for defenses to take away. I mean, look at a lot of the Jets games. Why did the Jets get in a lot of situations late in game when they had the lead and they couldn't put teams away? Couldn't really run the ball all that well. And that was because defenses really knew how to attack those schemes. I feel a lot better about, the types of runs, the types of play designs that the Jets are going to have this year. But it always comes down to execution, right? When week 1 hits next week from today, which is absolutely insane, and the Jets are facing the Pittsburgh Steelers, how are they able to execute? How are they able to run the football and make sure they get in the best situations possible? And when they face that adversity, how did they respond?
1,000%. Ladies and gentlemen, we are 1 week away from New York Jets football. Feels weird even saying it, man. Feels weird even saying it, but we're almost there. There's been football all weekend in the college ranks. Now we have 1 week until Jets football. In fact, if you really want to go in depth, how about this for a stat? Last Sunday without NFL games until February 15th, 2026. How about that?
Hearing the year 2026 kind of just sends like a shiver down my spine because I turned 25 in 2026 and that's scary, but yeah.
That's
Crazy
scary.
times.
Come on, man. 25 is nothing, man. You're entering the second quarter of life. You got plenty of time.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Darth Crypto. He is the latest listener to enter our Sauce Gardner jersey raffle at the end of the stream. And then how about this? Our first 10 spot of the day. We got our raffle on Tuesday. This is your last chance to get in. And G-Man, the prophet for Jets football, just gave himself 10 chances to not only win that Sauce jersey at the end of this stream, but a signed Sauce jersey and a signed Sack Exchange jersey and a signed Justin Fields jersey. G-Man, the prophet, 10 spot, channel, memberships. Hit it for him. Let's go.
Show me the money. Show me the money! Money.
There you go.
Good luck, G-Man. Always appreciate your support. He super chats and says, happy birthday, Sauce. My gift to you is a Jets victory on week 1. I don't ask for a lot, Brandon, but the Jets winning 7 days from now is certainly as high on my list as any. It would mean so much to this fan base. It would be so helpful for the Jets season just to have that win and not have to worry about losing to Buffalo and being 0-2, going to Tampa. And I don't want the season to be over in October. And I think a week 1 win, it buys you a lot of time. It really does.
And look, I wouldn't say any game this season is must win. Like the perspective I'm taking is I just want this team to be competitive. I just want this team week in, week out to just be in the game, compete, and maybe steal a few games against teams that they're not supposed to necessarily beat. But yeah, like starting off with that season with the 1-0 next to the team's record, it's like that's a feeling that is great. Like you can't beat that. Like, obviously the year Rodgers tears his Achilles is, you have the deflation after it. But starting that season 1-0 was like, wow, like maybe there is a shot that this thing goes better, and then it didn't, obviously. But yeah, I just think that I wouldn't call it a must win or anywhere close to that. I obviously want them to compete, but yeah, a win against the Steelers week 1 would be just really, really great start to this tenure.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. James checks in and he writes this awesome super chat. My wife and I watch you every day after we had our son Gio 2 months ago. We look at each other and say, we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Love that, James. Shout out to you and your wife. Congrats on the birth of your son. Shout out to Gio. Maybe one day you'll show him this clip when he's actually able to understand what's happening. But that's awesome. Appreciate your support, James. And shout out to everyone who watches the show every day. And shout out to all the wives who have to put up with hearing my voice every day. If your husbands are watching this show that much, all the significant others out there in the Asmaniac community. Gator with an interesting comment here. Interesting how Sanchez blames 3 losses last year on special teams. That's substantial. 8 wins. That would have been nice. I mean, look, I always referred to it as 2 because I tried to be on the conservative side. You can argue it led to 3. There's no doubt. I mean, Zerline was the worst kicker in the league last year, and the Jets stuck with him way too long. It cost them games, especially early in the year, that then allowed the season to start the spiral. Robert Saleh doesn't get fired after losing the London game if Zerline hit the kick against Denver to steal that game. Like, sometimes you got to win ugly. And the Jets last year lost every close game. That's why they were as bad as they were. They were the team that led the NFL with the most blown fourth quarter leads. Special teams matters. And look, obviously Nick Folk is older, so I guess you never know when he could be on his last legs, pun intended, as a kicker. But I do think he's looked great this summer. And last summer, if you remember, Zerline was struggling in camp and preseason, and the Jets were just like, he's our guy. We're fine. We're going to go with him. And it turned out to really hurt them, Brandon. So I'm very confident in Nick Folk. I think he's a huge part of what they want to do to be a good team this year.
And look, at the end of the day, like when we talk about special teams in this regard, it's not necessarily the 50+ yard field goals. It's like 40 and in, and like the 30 yard field goals. Like you have to hit those, like point blank. When your kicker starts missing those like they did last year, that's how you lose games. Like you said, like that Denver game where coming into that game, the Jets had no business losing. Obviously, we know where Denver ends up. We know how Denver looks down the line, right? That wasn't that Denver team in that week. This was an early version of that Broncos team. And, just a lot of special teams miscues cost the Jets a lot last year. And if that is even raised a little bit, if that floor is even raised a little bit, you're looking at a better overall outlook because, like you said, those tight games are swung by special teams, by the little things. And if you're crisp on that, if you're tight on that, like Glenn wants them to be, that's only going to be good things for them in those types of games.
100%. I just think you look at last year, Zerline against the Broncos, Zerline against the Bills, Zerline against the Patriots. Those are just three right there. But, I mean, the returning game wasn't as good. The punting game wasn't as good. They were a mess on special teams last year. And I do like what I've seen from the entire unit in camp in the preseason. I've been impressed with Chris Banjo so far for what it's worth.
Yeah, and it's going to be fascinating to see how it translates to week one and how it translates over the course of a season. But that is so important to really just have the execution level at least league average for every single unit, right? And when I say league average, in terms of discipline, in terms of doing the things that you're supposed to do. Obviously, the above and beyond stuff, that determines your ceiling. That determines how many games you're actually going to win. But if you're crisp and you're clean with the fundamentals and make sure you're not making mistakes where basically you need to execute, that just turns your season into, hey, we're at least going to do this instead of, well, we're falling behind expectation and we're going to have a year that is worse than people expect.
Gotham FC Jets writes in, I can't send memberships today, but can I be in the raffle? Yes. $10 gets you in the raffle for 2. You did it, Gotham FC. Bang! And if you tuned in late, folks, in honor of Sauce Gardner's 25th birthday, same age as Brandyn Pokrass pretty soon, Sauce Gardner jersey giveaway at the end of the stream. And by the way, if you already have a Sauce jersey, but you still want to enter, we'll give you a different jersey of your choice. You want Garrett, you want Fields, you pick. But Sauce is the priority here on his day of birth. With that said, some more questions for you, Brandon, then we'll mix in some phone calls. What do you make of the just overall 53-man roster? Anything that stood out to you on cutdown day and then the waiver claims the Jets made? How do you feel about the initial 53 that it looks like the Jets will be rolling with going into week 1, 7 days from now?
I mean, I wasn't too surprised. This was a roster where I feel like the upper level was kind of set. You knew the main guys that were going to be on there. There weren't going to be a ton of, like surprise cuts. Like, oh, the Jets cut a veteran that's been here for 5 years because they wanted to get X amount of cap space back, right? It was a lot of like back in the roster guys and types of decisions they make here and decisions they make there. And, I think an interesting one is keeping Quantez Stiggers over Jarek Bernard-Converse. I think that was mainly a special teams thing because Stiggers offers a lot of great special teams value, and I think he's still developing. JBC, it kind of just felt like he just didn't have a spot here anymore because the Jets have a lot of guys at cornerback, and I think he's going to be good for Cleveland this year if he gets on the field. I think the wide receiver moves were fascinating where initially they let Brandon Smith and Jamal Pritchett go, but now they're back on the practice squad. I think Pritchett could easily be flipped with Gibson down the line this year, and I think Brandon Smith, if given an opportunity, could provide some value for the Jets in certain spots as a receiver. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't too surprised. It kind of feels like the roster was the roster for like the most part.
You sound like Aaron Glenn. The plan is the plan. The roster is the roster.
But like at the end of the day, right? The Jets did add the defensive tackles, which I love both those additions. That's a floor raiser. You look at the roster heading into training camp, that was a very young and very inexperienced room that you were counting on a lot of development there. And I think ultimately New York realized, hey, maybe we don't want to go into the season with this young and, green, essentially, position group. And they made those additions there. I think adding another developmental tackle in, I think it's at S.A. Pole. I'm not 100% sure if that's pronunciation, but really love his potential as, a tackle of the future, a developmental tackle, a swing tackle. I like his talent better than Carter Warren, who they ended up releasing. So I like that. I liked I like adding Jelani Woods at tight end position. He's got to stay on the field, but I like having another guy that potentially gives you a floor as both a blocker and a pass catcher. And then the linebacker they added, I like for special teams. I think he basically flips with Zaire Barnes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the remaining question obviously is wideout, right? But here's the thing when it comes to wideout position. Who at this point of the year were you going to add that makes you feel much better about the wideout position? And I think
the only guy is Jacoby Myers, I think, at this point.
Right. But also you're going to have to pay him. And
right.
Is that a guy you want to pay as he's approaching his 30s? Maybe. I think he's a solid player, but where the Jets are right now, and I think this ties back to a lot of things that were discussed over the summer and even in the spring. This is year one, and you could argue year zero. You are trying to see what you have in this roster. You're trying to see what guys are going to stick and what guys are not going to stick. And let's face it, right? Every single year, there's a bunch of guys that come out in the NFL draft that are very talented wideouts. I think there's going to be a great opportunity after the season for the Jets to add that number 2. I think that is going to be a huge priority for them. Are you trying to jump the gun now and give up capital, or, just try to just be completely over the top in adding a guy that maybe 2-3 weeks from now we're like, well, he's not even really doing anything, so why did you add him? Like, I think I'm just trying to look at it from the team's perspective. I don't think they really saw the biggest, we have to add a wideout, because 1, the type of offense they want to run, and 2, I think they just want to see what they have in that room, whether it's the guys on the roster right now or the guys on the practice squad. And I think after this season, this is the main position group I have circled as they might completely make over it. Like, behind Garrett Wilson, this might be a room where they add 3 new guys.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Bino in the house. Jacob, if I get the dub, I forward the prize to One Punch Dave Briga. Wow. That's the respect Dave Briga is getting, that if Bino wins the sauce jersey, he wants it to go to One Punch Dave Briga. Today is the last day of August, which means it's the last day to join my Patreon if you want your name added to our countdown ticker that plays before every show. You also will get 20% off every item in my merch store. You get bonus shows multiple times a month. And this is the biggest thing, access to our private Discord channel where the Jet conversation and the Asmaniac conversation never end. So if you join the Patreon for the year, you save 15%, and I'll give you 10 raffle tickets that you could apply to Tuesday's weekly raffle featuring a signed Fields jersey, Sack Exchange jersey, and Sauce Gardner jersey. Those are the top 3 prizes on this week's Asmaniac raffle. Comments, questions, your super chats, cut the line. Darth Crypto in the raffle for another entry. Good luck, Darth Crypto. Justin Fields Jets watching the show on X says, I'm still more concerned about safety than wide receiver 2. I'm not sitting here trying to say that safety is not on my list of potential concerns, but I just don't think safety is as impactful as potentially wide receiver 2 would be. I actually think they'll be fine at safety. I think there'll be some good Cisco weeks. There'll be some bad Cisco weeks. We saw some good plays from Cisco this summer. We saw in the Giants preseason game a coverage bust, which led to a huge play. That's kind of the Andre Cisco experience. He'll be opportunistic at times, turning teams over. There'll be some big plays that he allows. So it kind of is what it is there. I'm hoping Malachi Moore eventually could be a huge player in that secondary, maybe take Tony Adams' job at some point. I think wide receiver 2 is going to be a conversation, though, all year till they address it, because there's going to be some weeks where this team struggles to run the ball, Fields is going to have to throw, or you're in catch-up mode. They're doubling Garrett Wilson, and the Jets might not be good enough to be able to move the ball effectively without someone that could complement Garrett.
I think when push comes to shove, the way I look at it is when you're in a tough spot in a game, what's going to be the position you feel more? It's wide receiver too, right? Because I think on defense, there's ways that you can kind of hide the safety, right? Like you can kind of hide that safety where it's like, you have the good cornerbacks, you trust your linebackers, you have that defensive line. You don't need your safety to necessarily make a play. I'm not saying it's not important, because safety is one of the most important positions on the football field. But there's a way where you're not feeling that impact. Whereas wide receiver too, when push comes to shove and you need to throw the football, if you're doubling Garrett, who's that guy winning, right? And I'm not saying that's going to be every single week, but like you said, there's going to be some weeks where the Jets may not run the football the way they want, and now you have to pass. Who is that second guy that's going to be able to win consistently, beat man coverage consistently?
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. James with a $10 super chat. Let's get my wife a Garrett Wilson jersey. She's in for 2, James. Good luck. Hot take: if everything pans out with safety and corner improved, assuming O-line and DL return to form, we're a quarterback and a wide receiver 2 and 3 away from being a serious contender. I know you said it's a hot take, but yeah, man, but that's a lot, right? Like, hey, let's assume that everything works with our concerns at safety. Everything works with the O-line being as good as we think. The D-line's awesome, right? Jermaine's doing his thing. We don't have to worry about Clemens playing as much. Then, oh yeah, we just need that a quarterback and a wide receiver 2 and a wide receiver 3. That's a lot, man. Like, yeah, sure. If all that happens, yes, the Jets maybe would just be missing that to being a championship contender, but that's still a lot of things that have to happen before we even get to that part of your super chat.
I would like to see this team play a real game first. I want to preface that. I would like to see this team on the field in the regular season. But yes, if that all happens, I do think those additions are possible next offseason. But then once again, you also have to see those additions likely next offseason play together, and then we can start probably talking about, hey, can this team seriously compete?
Comments, questions, super chats, they cut the line. I'm going to play something for you, Brandon, and then I want your thoughts on the other side. A conspiracy theory involving why Aaron Glenn won't name a starting center.
What the heck is going on with the center position between Joe Tippmann and Josh Myers?
Here's my theory here, okay? I think John Simpson might be more injured than they're letting on.
Ooh.
He wasn't on the field today. He wasn't on the field Monday. So there's no injury report right now, obviously, until next Wednesday would be the first day that we get an injury report from the Jets. So I'm curious, but I think if John Simpson is injured, then you see Josh Myers at center and you see Joe Tippmann at left guard. And so I think Glenn is kind of playing that game right now of not revealing stuff. And look, I get it. He doesn't want to reveal it. He can probably answer the question a little more diplomatically, but he doesn't want to. So that's his decision. But yeah, I think to me, I'm curious. John Simpson had the back injury in camp. He came back. He did come back from it, but now he's not practicing again. And, when you watch these things, guys, is like when you go to practices, there's not much value in the practices once training camp is over. We only get to watch 20 minutes, and it's mostly stretching and special teams. But one thing you look at is who is on the field. And, I'm not talking about even between the lines. Today, for example, Sauce Gardner was not practicing. But Sauce was standing out there. He had his jersey on. He had sweatpants on. He was kind of messing around, throwing the ball around. Sauce looks fine to me. I'm like, okay, John Simpson wasn't on the field. And so that means he's inside getting treatment. That means something. And so that's one to watch to me. And we'll see when we get the injury report next week what the status is.
What do you think of that, B-Puck? Do you think that has something to do with Glenn not wanting to name a center for this game 7 days from now?
I mean, absolutely. And I think at the end of the day, though, the team inside the building know what their plan is. They know, just because they're not saying anything to the public, I'm very convinced that they have their plan. And look, at the end of the day, this is where the versatility of Joe Tippmann lends itself to this, right? We saw that Tippmann can be a fantastic guard. We've already seen that he is more than capable of playing that position. We've also seen that he can be a very good center. So when you have a guy with that positional versatility and you feel comfortable with him at either spot, yeah, I think it does depend on, hey, if John Simpson is healthy or isn't healthy, we're going to go with this, or we're going to go with that. And also Josh Myers, this is a guy that has shown that he can be a very solid NFL player and has been a very solid NFL player for multiple years now. Like, I don't think it's this thing where it's like, oh, they feel bad about player X or they feel bad about player Y. I think it's kind of more of like, what was said in the clip. It's more of a wait and see. Like, hey, what does Simpson's health actually look like when we enter game week? And then once we know that, then we can actually, fully set or fully reveal the plan to the media. Because I would go out on a limb and say they kind of have already been preparing for whatever the situation is, and they just haven't said it publicly.
Famous Jay is the latest listener to join today's Sauce Gardner raffle.
Money, 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 money.
I have the list of who got the memberships for this one. Danette Randall, Joe Rano, GTA IV Man, and Justin. But wait, one more. My brother, Zach Asman, Famous Jay, gifting my brother a channel membership. Aaron Glenn refusing to name a center for week 1. Do you think there's a conspiracy like Brian Costello of the New York Post floated out on his podcast there with Tanky V, Frankie V, and Ryan Sampson from the New York Post? Hit the like button if you guys are just tuning in. We're going to get to some of your calls right now on the show. Another reminder that if you haven't followed me on Instagram, please do so. New brand I'm about to work with is very social media heavy, so it'd be a huge help if you guys could follow me on IG at Jake Asman. Follow me there, and you can follow at Jake Asman Show as well. With that said, let's open it up to your calls. And first up today is the Chuck Wagon. What's up, Chuck Wagon?
Hey, how you doing?
What's up, Chuck?
Not much. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to first talk about the turnovers that you spoke of in the beginning of the show. I checked the last 4 seasons, the turnover margin for the Jets. Starting in 21, they were -13, 22 -7, 23 -6, and last year -2. So at least it's been an improvement each year, but it's still in the negative. Do you think it'll finally reach positive for this year? And also, I was thinking, our passing doesn't have to be a top 10 passing offense. Our offense only has to be, I think, for passing in the top 20, or rushing in the top 5, and that should be good enough for about a 9-8 record, which possibly could get us into the playoffs, because I feel like our special teams should be top 10 easily. And of course, defense probably top 10 also. So sprinkle in a little luck with the turnovers, and I really think that we possibly could make the playoffs this year.
Chuck, good call. B-Puck, your thoughts on the kind of the path he outlined right there?
So I'll start from the end and work my way back. I think this team finishes with anywhere from 7 to 9 wins. Like, that's kind of been the range I've been falling into, where, you have that upper echelon where maybe they play a little bit better in some of the games than we expect. And then that lower echelon where it's like, they kind of were high. They had their highs, they had their lows, and this is where they fall. But, I think a lot of this conversation, especially bring up the turnover margin, comes down to the quarterback, right? A lot of the biggest reason why the turnover margin was so bad in years past, because the Jets didn't have good quarterback play. They had guys that turned over the ball a lot. And, last year didn't necessarily have that, but, that was also a big part of the defense not being as opportunistic as they once were. I think when it comes down to it, right, if you want to have the best turnover margin, if you want to have a team that makes the playoffs, you obviously need that run game to be cooking. You obviously need that defense to reach the levels that's closer to the 2022 season and the beginning of that 2023 season. But ultimately, you need Justin Fields to have a good season. No one is asking Justin Fields to be a top 10, top 7 quarterback that's just putting perfect placement and looking like a quarterback he's never looked like at this point of his NFL career. Maybe we get there down the line, right? You need a guy that's not going to lose you football games. You need a guy that's not going to turn over the ball. You need a guy that when he is asked, makes the throws, that keeps the line moving, keeps the chains moving, and allows this offense to consistently move the football, right? If you get that out of him, if you get solid quarterback play, I feel good about where the Jets are going. If he turns the ball over and looks a lot like the quarterback that he looked like in Chicago, where, you have the highs, but you also have the lows, I don't think this team reaches the quote-unquote heights that I think a lot of people expect them to.
Ladies and gentlemen, G-Man spending the big bucks for the community. Hit it.
Get your ass off my super chats. Some of these are gifted memberships too.
Hey.
The hell with it.
G-Man, the prophet for Jets football. 10 more entries for G-Man. He's the league leader in entries for this show. He's up to 20 now in this program. Raffle will be on Tuesday, so everyone buckle up. It's time to get this fan base started. It's written, for we walk by faith and not by sight. The vision has come to me. That not only we win week 1, but lo and behold, we also win week 2. Thus say the prophet, all the prophet. If the Jets start 2-0, G-Man, the prophet, you are co-hosting a show with me. All right, because we're going to go inside your prophet brain on how you determined the Jets were going to beat Aaron Rodgers week 1, Josh Allen week 2. If the Jets start 2-0, that would be the most surprising 2-0 start in Jets history, arguably. Seriously, 2-0 after the year they had last year, and they're going to beat Steelers. They're going to beat the Bills. Oh, my God. 2-0, where do I sign? I just want them to be 1-1 going to Tampa. That's my hope. I think week 1, 7 days from now, feels more winnable than week 2. But however they got to do it, BPOC, 1-1 going to Tampa. And then I think you look at it like, can we split the 2 Florida games and be 2-2 through the first 4 weeks? And then you survive September. You hope you get better as the year goes on, and you stay relevant each month of the year. So you're in the hunt, so to speak, going into that last month.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think 2-2 is a great goal. I think the 2 games that I'm circling in terms of the ones where I'm like, I would feel great if the Jets won them. And I feel like I wouldn't say they need to win, but I'm like, okay, I think these are the 2 need to target. It's Pittsburgh and Miami, right? Like it's the Steelers game week 1. You want them to come out fast against the former quarterback of the New York Jets, Aaron Rodgers, and you want them to really just put their stamp on the season to start off, not come out flat-footed like we've seen a lot of times, really just hit the gas pedal and go, and I think they will. How the game falls and what ultimately happens remains to be seen. And then I think the Miami game, I think you need to make a statement in that first game against the Dolphins and basically be like, hey, maybe we're not on the level of the Buffalo Bills, right? Not many teams in the NFL are, if we're being completely honest. How do we look against a opponent that should be more on our level? Now, the third game that I think there is an outside shot they can take care of some business is the Buccaneers game. I think that one's very interesting to me, and here's why. I'm fascinated to see what this Tampa Bay offense looks like without Tristan Wirfs. I think that is something I'm like, I'm kind of looking at it out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, all right, what do the Buccaneers look like on offense? Not only without Wirfs, which is obviously my main point, but it's another new offensive coordinator. It's another few tweaks with this scheme. Grizzards never really ran an offense. Do they take a step back? Did they start slow? Does it take a little bit for them to get going? That's the game where I'm like, all right, if the Jets start 1-1, they beat Pittsburgh, lose to Buffalo, is that a game they can steal on the road against a team that might be finding its footing with another new offensive coordinator and then head into that Miami game with some momentum?
Sean Sharp, he writes in, here's a little towards the Hennessy FUD. He's in the raffle for 2. Addison says, if we're 3-0, I'm pinching myself to make sure I'm not dreaming. I mean, 3-0.
3-0. Okay. That would be something. That would I look. If the Jets start 3-0 against Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and Tampa Bay, some people may be saying some very irrational things on the internet, and I may be one of them.
I think you and the entire fan base, we'd all be right there. Justin, special teams should be top 10 easily. What are you talking about? Look, I think they have the potential to do it for sure. David says, drinking coffee from my Jake Asman Show coffee mug as ideas flying out. Not necessarily good ideas, but ideas nonetheless. Well, you can't blame me for you having crazy ideas, David. I mean, I don't know what type of, illegal substances you allegedly could be putting in that coffee, spiking your coffee with. Hit the like button if you guys are just tuning in. Reminder, we're available in audio form, so if you ever can't watch the YouTube show live, I post the full show afterwards in audio form on either Apple or Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. So make sure you subscribe there, leave a 5-star review, and coming up this week, going to read you the funniest reviews that as maniacs have left for the show. So if you want to have your review read, use some creativity and leave one on Apple or Spotify. Let's get to more of your calls right now. This guy has got to be feeling as good as one can feel. His Florida State Seminoles, many are saying, are back.
I'm Ricky, New York, and I love to smoke. Florida State, I really love Florida State. Hey, easy tongues, you know it's from Florida State. At any rate, I call into smoking debate. Florida State, I really love Florida State. At any rate, thanks for taking my call, Jake.
Hey, Jake, how you doing?
Florida State, baby. What a beatdown.
Yeah, we're back, baby. And you're right. I'm feeling about as good as a person could possibly feel. From last night until today, I have smoked much peace pipe. So it's been a good night. However, there's a lesson to be learned here, Jets fans. Alabama was supposed to be this powerhouse, but I'll tell you what, Pittsburgh week 1, I don't care how long it's been since they've had a losing season. Who you've been in the past doesn't make you who you are today. Every year is a new year. This is a new team. We've got a real coach, and I'm looking forward to whipping the Steelers' ass in week 1. So yeah, I think it's going to be a close game, but I think we win that game. The question that I would have for you and for Brandon, 2 questions actually. I know that we just added Jelani Woods, Briggs, and Harrison Phillips, but those guys haven't had a lot of practice time with the team yet. How much of an impact do you think those new additions are going to make? And I can't talk about additions without subtraction. Micah Parsons is no longer in Dallas. So do you think that Dallas game goes from an L to possibly a W, being that their best player is now no longer there because their owner is an idiot?
Well, I'll tell you what, Ricky. I actually thought the Cowboys game was winnable before Parsons got traded. Now it just makes it more winnable. I think if you told me the Jets won that game, I wouldn't be that surprised. I mean, I think Dallas is a good team roster-wise with huge questions at head coach. Like Brian Schottenheimer is a first-time coach. That was a very uninspiring hire. We don't know what that exactly looks like. So I think that game is definitely winnable. To your first point, I think it will take maybe some time for Harrison Phillips to be at his very best, but I think they're going to basically tell him, hey, here's your job. Stop the run. Here are the assignments. Like, we're not asking you to do anything that you haven't done for, 7 years in the league already. Like, go plug the hole, help Quinnen Williams avoid some double teams and push the pocket forward so Aaron Rodgers has nowhere to go, essentially. Like, I think it's going to be pretty basic for someone like Phillips in this first game coming up.
Yeah, I think with Woods, like, that's the one where I'm like, all right, how does he pick up the offensive scheme? How does he like really fit in? I think you kind of see if he makes a big impact, that's going to be like a few weeks down the line. But I think when it comes to Briggs and Phillips, they're going to just go on the field and I think do their job right away. And I think they're going to be able to stop the run and do what they were brought to New York to do. And when it comes to that Dallas game, the thing that really stands out about the Parsons trade is, you know, despite not having a great run defense and despite not having like the best overall unit, Micah Parsons is a force multiplier. This is a guy that can single-handedly end games by himself. I mean, look at the Cowboys down the stretch last year. After he came back, Dallas was competing in games and winning games solely because Micah Parsons was blowing things up. That's a game for me where I think the Jets can do some serious damage in the run game. And I think that's a game where, you know, styles make fights. And I think that's one where they can really impose their will and put Dallas in a position that they're not comfortable in.
Right on. I agree with that. I certainly hope so. And man, you know what? This is like you know, those late '90s teams, man. Run the football, play good defense. Like real Jets football is back. Winning Jets football is back, and it's been a long time, but can't wait, man. I can't wait. This week cannot go by fast enough for me.
Let the pain begin. Let's hope not. Ricky, congrats to your Seminoles. At least you got one win already this week.
Yes, I did. Number 2's coming right up.
Ricky, New York is my name. Florida State is my game. My internet sucks, call it Jake. When it's time to smoke and debate, the New York Jets are gonna win. My team since I was a kid. My New York Jets are gonna win. I'm Ricky, New York. Don't forget that. Florida State, bitches. New York Jets. We got this shit. It's time to win, baby. Win. Can't wait.
Let's go. If the Jets play as well as Florida State did against Bama yesterday, Brandon, we're feeling pretty good.
Yeah, you know, what's interesting though is, you know, no one on the Jets came out months in advance and said, "Hey, we're going to beat the Pittsburgh Steelers," like Tommy Castellanos. And hey, you know, credit to Tommy. Credit to Thomas Castellanos. He backed it up. Very impressive win for Florida State.
Yeah, he played very well yesterday, no doubt. Nick writes in, gotta wonder if Tyler Johnson is actually week 1. Is that, you mean actually on the team week 1 or
probably active, like a practice squad?
Oh, is active.
Elevation. Yeah.
He could be. Well, you could elevate a guy twice before you then have to put him on the 53 after that. So it's interesting. Would he be active for week 1? I could potentially see him being active.
Well, I think a big part of it is, you know, what's the health of Alan Lazard? You know, he obviously was dealing with injury. Like if that's a situation where, you know, maybe Lazard isn't ready to roll the first few weeks, you short-term IR him, and then you either bring up Brandon Smith or Tyler Johnson. You know, kind of some of that roster manipulation stuff ahead of the first game.
Roster manipulation reminds me of the time our famous Asmaniac caller Scott was referring to manipulation in the whole manipulation. I believe Tom Ace, if you're in the chat, you know exactly what I'm referring to. BPOC, always appreciate your time though, my friend. Continued success on your end, and hopefully it's a fun season. We'll have you on a bunch.
Appreciate it. Thank you once again for having me on.
Brandyn Pokrass of Badlands with us there. By the way, it's box manipulation. Not pocket manipulation. It was box manipulation that Scott was going on and on about for those who have been around the show a long time. All right, open phone lines for anyone who wants in on the conversation. Comments, questions, your super chats. You guys know the drill. They cut the line. Michael wrote in, I was scrolling YouTube and I found the 2010 AFC divisional playoff game. Watch the first half. Asman Showtime. That could be us this year. The Jets get to the second round of the playoffs, Michael. I mean, I'd be giddy from your lips to God's ears. I don't see that, but I hope I'm wrong. I really do. That's the last time they won a playoff game. Think about that. So last time they were in the playoffs that year too. January 16th, 2011. Jets beating the Patriots in the playoffs. They have not been back since. But maybe that changes this year. Does it? I hope so. Can't wait for week 1 though, huh?
To all the non-believers. How did that? To all the non-believers. Anybody can be beat. We're pissed off. People gave us no chance, like we barely made it in playoffs. We're a good football team. For all you non-believers, disrespect us, talk crap about the defense like we ain't the third best defense in the league. All we hear is about their defense. They can't stop a nosebleed. 25th in the league, and we the one to get disrespected. Congratulations. See you in Pittsburgh. Can't wait.
Yeah. Can't wait. 1 week from today. Happy birthday, Sauce Gardner. We're giving away a Sauce jersey at the end of the show. So if you want a jersey to gear up for the season, enter our raffle. Gift one membership. It's just $5, and you got a chance to win. Also, pretty massive day for birthdays in New York sports. It's Jalen Brunson's birthday as well. The captain turns 29. So happy birthday to the best thing to happen to the Knicks fan base since Patrick Ewing. Ladies and gentlemen, Jalen Brunson. On that note, back to your calls. Artie is up next. Hey, Artie.
Hey, Jake. Happy birthday, Jalen. This is an exciting month, Jake. We got the games starting. We've had Sundays with football every Sunday now. We got the meetup in Tampa. I can't believe I'm going to get to meet Dave Brigger and David T. and Rube and everybody else that's going. Lee Van, a whole bunch of people that I haven't met yet. Can't wait to meet them. It's going to be a great time.
And
I
by
think
the
this
way,
team's
for those
What?
going to Tampa, make sure you book a hotel room with us. Discounted hotel room at Hotel Tampa Riverwalk. I have the link in the description for anyone who's coming. We got 2 events planned. I teamed up with the Jets fan club in Tampa for a party the night before at Gaspar's Patio Bar and Grill, and then a little tailgate party before the game on Sunday. But for anyone going to Tampa like Artie, make sure you book at Hotel Tampa Riverwalk if you want a cheap hotel room at a nice spot.
Jake, we got that hotel room, and we're going to be down there on Friday. So if anybody's coming down on Friday, we can hook up and meet up and hang out by the pool. Me and Peg are going to be bringing a cooler with some beverages and some various alcohol, of course, the Hennessy. And hopefully we're going to bump into David T. and Rube, and we're going to have some shots of Fireball. And we're just going to have a good time that weekend. It's going to be fun, no matter what the Jets record is. But I think this team is going to be better than what a lot of people are saying. I mean, they didn't inherit an expansion team by any stretch. They had good talent in this team. They were horribly coached. They gave up. This team could really be anything. I mean, they could be dog shit too. But they also could be a very good team. So I'm full of hopium. We'll see what happens. And, I wanted to congratulate Bobby for the job interview. And I wanted to congratulate Charles for his job. I heard he got a job as a dog walker, and he's walking 4 dogs a day or something, Nate said. So I thought that was pretty cool. And that's about it.
That doesn't sound real.
No? We got to check with Nate then. I heard he's walking a dog.
You think Charles got a job as a dog walker, and this would be the first I'm hearing of this? I don't.
I'm surprised of it, but Nate and Addison and them said it, so it's got to be real.
Right, because Nate and Addison always tell the truth.
Always. Have a good day, Jake. Asmaniacs, have a great day.
Ladies and gentlemen, Artie, also known as Party with Peg and Artie. Yeah, I'm pretty confident this Charles job dog walker thing is not true. No one is less reliable than Nate. As you can see in the chat, as suspected, it is not true. Artie, come on, man. Open phone lines for anyone who wants in on the conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time today, let's check in with the beast.
Now this, Jake, is a 3-8 drill. The best drill you can work with. You know why? Because it works with spikes and puts a lot of things together. We're doing some construction today. Whew. This could be a real fucking pain here. Now where's that hole at? There we are. Can I get a good shot? Can we get a good one? Can we get a good one? No, we can't. So how you doing, kid? How was your night? Did you enjoy drinking?
It was a great night, Beast.
Yeah, well, this is not easy, kid. This is not the easiest.
What exactly are you doing?
Putting spikes into the getting spikes put onto the jackets today. Yeah, since I already got enough time to kill, and I did like some good points that Ricky nailed out. We're ready.
Hey, show us the jacket. People missed it the other day. Show us the jacket.
This is the black one I'm working on.
Let's see it. No one can see it.
This is the one I put together this past last year. Slayer, baby, with the goods. Real champions know how to wear this with pride, honor, and glory. Now.
I thought you were reinforcing your bed frame at first, making it stronger.
Oh, no. That was a while back. Now this is the real another test. Another test of endurance. All you need is 3 things. These 2 little thingies here, and the 3A drill. Man's drill. Man's best friend. So, are we ready? 1 week from Sunday. I just hope Rogers gets ready for the ambulance ride because they're going to need to pick his body parts up and go, emergency, man down, Rogers is out. Hey, Rogers, here, bucket of cold water. He's going to feel that at first. That's kind of like an after effect. But when he feels the pain in his back, he's going to go, oh, I'm old and I'm hurting. Well, you know why you just got hurt? Because the New York Jets smoked your ass like a big. Nice round of weed. Now, let's go to another caller.
Hey, Beast, give everyone an idea 1 week from today what the Jets defensive line is going to be doing to Aaron Rodgers.
Well, you already seen the spine buster. He's going to get, if he starts running, you know what you do if he starts running? Turn around. Whoops. Back body drop. That's what he's going to get, the big back body drop. All you got to do is duck. Like 1, 2.
You don't think that'd be a personal foul penalty?
Oh, not if you duck down.
Okay.
If you don't touch him, all you got to do is duck down, launch him, and then he'll fly first class round on his back. That's a no-brainer. Come on.
I know they might call roughing the passer. You don't get concerned about that?
That's not roughing the passer. That's just a backdrop. So what? Big deal. You fall. Hey, if you take the fall, you take the fall. You know what someone once said?
You can't do that in an NFL game.
Indignant. You ever heard those words? Take the fall, act hurt, get indignant. You ever hear that?
It's my first time hearing it.
Got that from D2, The Mighty Ducks.
Oh.
Great movie, by the way. Emilio Estevez is in it. Great actor, by the way. So, have a nice weekend. And I sent you an invite for barbecue. Are you hungry for some hot dogs?
Well, Beast, I don't know if you know this, but you live in Illinois and I live in New York. So
I understand that. But I sent you the invite. So, hey, if you can't make it, don't worry about it. Just keep it as a souvenir. Now,
keep your email as a souvenir?
Yeah, I'm making a souvenir. Don't worry about it. Everybody's got their purpose. Now, let's get back to work. Shall we?
Let's review the invitation, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, this was the invitation from the man himself to his Labor Day barbecue. Beast emailed me. You're invited to a barbecue. Bring your stomach. You're going to enjoy some good action. Now, has someone shown up to one of your barbecues without their stomach?
Hey, if they bring, well, back in the day when in college, it used to be, 30 packs of Keystone or a 30-pack of Special X or Pabst Blue Ribbon. Back in the college days, we used to do it all big. Pabst Blue Ribbon, Special X, Keystone, Ice House, Miller. We used to, that was their fun. That was the fun back then in the college days when fun was fun. Nowadays, it's a different world. Nowadays, very different, Jake. Things are very different now. I mean, people are different now. I mean, look at all of us. We're very different. Everybody's, their own person nowadays. People got kids. Everybody's got kids. Everyone's got grandkids. Everybody's got a future. We got to move forwards. So I'm, just got to look forward to the future. Let's try and then do the right thing and have some fun. Now,
well, Beast, I appreciate the barbecue invite. Unfortunately, I'm working tomorrow, so I won't be able to fly in.
I understand that. It's reasonable. But hey, have fun and have a hot dog. But get them one of their grill. You know why? The best way to have them is grilled on the grill. And the best way to have them, you can have it either way. You can put sauerkraut on, you could ketchup, mustard, you could relish, pickles. Hey, it's however you do your own hot dog.
Well, let's talk more about this invite here. You said you got brownies and cookies, and starting Tuesday, I'm going to limit myself to a few shows because with fall coming up.
Well, it's because now's my time. My time has come because look at the month I've worked my balls off. I've put in body slams, backdrops, pain, suffering, and agony in. It's time to start slowing down. Can't be jumping around like some kind of a maniac.
You're slowing down as the season starts.
Hey, I gave everybody the hardest prep talk in American history. All you have to do is pay attention and learn. If you don't learn this every day, then you're not worth the quality or the time. Hello, you play to win the game.
Also, let's talk more about what you wrote in this email here. You said, if Bobby Beasley shows up, I don't want my name mentioned on the show because I will be busy. And I'm also preparing my first podcast, and I make football points on Thursdays and Fridays. It will be easier. Plus, going to start doing traditional PPV stuff from wrestling times circa 90s. What does that mean?
During around this time, when September starts, I generally pull out a lot of the classic Clash of the Champions and a lot of fall brawls from the past that, it brings memories right back to me. Like, because I remember watching it when I was a kid, and I'm glad that most of these pay-per-views that I have, I want to bring something back to the people, like say, hey, this is what wrestling was 30 years ago when it was, exciting. Now there's no excitement now. I mean, it's a different world and a different phase. You gotta understand, since COVID, things have changed. The world's a different place now. Sure, we can't afford food. Sure, we can't afford the restaurants. But you have to live on your own thing. Be yourself. Be who you are. Do what you have to do, and do what you must to survive.
Hey, Beast, what is the name of this podcast you referenced here?
Oh, you'll see coming. You'll see in the coming time frame. But don't worry. I'm not answering that one because in the words of my friend Bonesy, as he once said, don't pay attention to the chat. Just nail it down into the wires.
Wrestling in the Attic pod? That's what Joe Mike said.
You'll see in the coming time frame. You'll see. But
Attic talk with Beast?
No, I'm not going to answer that one. I'm just going to say enjoy your Sunday. Go outside. It's going to be a very beautiful day. Go jump in the pool. Go do some. Yeah, I know you don't surf anyway, but enjoy your day.
Rooney says you're unbearable.
Whatever. I'm not answering that one. I'm gonna stick to what Bonesy told me. Just ignore the chat and do what you need to do.
Dangerous
that
Alliance
would be
fun?
beautiful. Hey, Tom Ace. Since you're part of the Alliance, you just gave me the ding idea. The Beavis and Butthead, nail going. Hey, Beavis, we just got the nail right on the head. Yeah, we got the nail right on the head. Yeah, that's what I said, you dumbass. Now, Jake, let's get on social chaos, shall we? Let's party. Catch you later.
Thank you. All right, no one's on hold right now, so if anyone wants to call in, now is the time. Until someone calls in, though, I'd rather just watch this.
Hey, that's dusty shit. Can we go to another caller, please? I'm trying to work here.
Hey, Beast, can you move your mic that's not plugged in?
Oh, yeah, there we go. Got you there. Okay. Come here. Got you. There you go. There you go. I got you. I know where you're at.
Hey, Beast, move that mic.
Hold on 1 minute. There. Now, where's
Also, how hot is it in that attic? How are you sweating
It's
from
beautiful.
drilling?
I can take this. Let me run it by you. 70 to 79, I can work with. 80 to 84 is perfect. But 85 to 95, no chance. No chance. I've had a heat stroke in 90-degree weather before. I'm not doing it again. I learned the hard way. So why not? Why am I learning the hard way? Because when you get older, you can't do the things you want to do. Remember, there's no saying you're not 25 anymore. Try more like 41. Now, we'll sweat there. Okay, dry off. Now, find that damn hole and get that into there. Which, I want to tell you, if you ever buy these spikes, ladies and gentlemen, this is the hardest thing to do. You try doing this for a living. I'll tell you, building 3 of these for $660 ain't the easiest thing in the world. Now, try and enjoy your best of the day, have some fun, and try and do what you got to do. Be yourselves. And remember, on Labor Day, don't eat too much because then you'll wind up doing like most people would do, wind up in the toilet, dropping either a douche or however you want it. Now, enjoy this day, have fun, and get some cherry pie. And remember, JETS, it's Jets, it's Jets, it's Jets. And read them in weep. Do what I said,
Thank you, Beast. Some great advice. Also, dropping a douche. Not to be confused with dropping a deuce. Ladies and gentlemen, on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline now is Nick Shine. Hello, Nick.
I've never heard anybody put cherry pie with freedom, but that's Beast. It's always been Americana, apple pie. He's like, cherry pie. All right, let's flip the script a little bit. I guess the MP3 player is glitching today.
Man,
Dude,
he made a lot of great points.
he mixes them in though, but it's so over the top that you lose them. You forget about them very quickly when he rambles. How we feeling, man? It's game week, bro.
I mean, look, let the pain begin. I'm hoping that the Jets surprise us this year, but we're going into it with expectations that are far lower than where they've been the last few years. So maybe that will benefit us.
Dude, I'm excited, man. It's the calm before the storm, right? As the week goes on, fans will get more excited, they'll get more intense, and this time next week, man, is going to be a lot of fun. I think we do it. I really do. I think we're going to blitz the hell out of him. I think we're going to run blitz to put him in 3rd and longs where he can't get his quick hot routes off. But I think Wilkes is going to be praised after week 1. Jets fans are going to see quite the different scheme than what we saw previously.
Man, I hope you're right. I mean, I could see them winning this game. I'm just very nervous. It's just a very nerve-wracking game.
Yeah, you win this game, the pressure is off of Glenn to get that first win. We don't have to worry about starting the season off poorly with Buffalo coming in week 2 and then 2 road games. Like you buy some favor with the fan base, right? Like it's huge in terms of that because we know how quickly our fan base can turn. But starting this off with a win and who we would get the win against, I mean, there'll be fans walking out of there, man, with how happy they are. Because if we lose, the curmudgeons. They'll be like, we let Rodgers go. He beat us. We could lose 6-3
and he plays great. Yeah, I mean, like if they lose and Rodgers is slinging it around, yeah, I mean that'd be a nightmare. That's what can happen. Like if they're gonna lose, it better not be because Glenn's defense gets beat by Aaron Rodgers. Remember what happened in London? Like Darnold and the Vikings beat the Jets, but Sam wasn't that good in that game. That was more like the Jets just made too many mistakes. Rodgers was terrible for a lot of that game. Like I just think. How it looks too will matter, but they got to win, man. This is a winnable game. You don't want to start 0-2. Like, could they beat Buffalo, I guess, the following week? Sure, it's not impossible, but it's not likely, especially if you lose week 1.
Yeah, Buffalo's had some struggles coming down here, and we've played them tight. Even with Zach as quarterback, we beat them one time. We played them tight twice. They haven't really dominated us down here, so you can't write that game off. Listen, when we play good defense, and we can run the ball well, and we have time of possession, and we have game-breaking ability in the run game, even with Fields, his legs, there's a chance. The ball, we can get turnovers. I know Jets fans aren't used to getting turnovers, but that's something that we could actually do now and be a part of what our identity is on defense. So expect pressure, expect a lot of blitzing. I expect to be top 5 in the NFL in blitz percentage after week 1. I think they're going to send the house time and time again. They're going to have man press up to take away his quick routes. We'll get more into Wednesday when I'm on with you in the morning, some of Nick's shining stars, Jake. We're going to have a little segment, Nick's shining stars.
I'm excited. Nick Shine on Wednesdays during the season. Get ready, people.
So we'll take a look at some players that, could be the key to victory, and then we'll review last week's and look ahead to the week ahead. So we'll have, I'm bringing a segment to the show with me, Jake.
You're the first weekly guest that is bringing a segment with some pre-production involved in the segment too.
That's it. Well, have Boomtown know that for next year to update favorite guest host. So let's take a note here, Boomtown, please, good sir. But it'll be a lot of fun.
I'll tell you what, Nick Shine, I'm excited. I just hope that they win week 1 because it will be massive for this fan base psyche to get that first win against that opponent.
Yeah.
And just buy yourself a little time, buy yourself some time that if you do lose the Buffalo, you do lose the Tampa, you're okay. You know what I mean? Like your season is not going to end at the end of September if you get that first win a week from now.
Yeah. And even if you drop an L, right? It's how the L. We don't want to see a 30-3 loss, right? We don't want to.
They get blown out.
We want to be competitive, not just week 1, any week. Like our losses, you want to see that you're close. You want to see that you're competitive in the trenches. You want to see that evolution of a team that competes every week, and we don't get out coached. We don't get out schemed. We don't get surprised by what the other team is do. We're prepared. You can still lose and have a great game plan because it's just the way sports goes. But just don't be an embarrassment anymore. Come out there week after week with the ability to win the game. Be in the game late and ask your quarterback to maybe make one drive late in the game because your defense and your run game and your time of possession wore the other team out. It's all possible to do, sir.
Nate writes in, this guy drives everywhere but can't pick up Coach Cho.
Correct.
What did Coach Cho do to you?
Nothing. I don't know him. That's why.
Well, you're going to get to know him.
I despise Nate, but I would pick Nate up.
Also, Lane says he's going to email you about the bikini.
He's emailed me several times. I'm working on a bikini for you, Lane. I promise. The second I have a bikini and Jet stuff, we will get it out to you.
I spoke to Lane and Lane's mom on the phone for an hour and a half yesterday, Nick Shine.
And you didn't record this like you did the Rich Eisen interview? Was this fucking amateur hour here with you, Asman?
Yeah, this one was off air. This one was not.
Okay, I get it.
This one was not on the air.
I get it.
But again, thank you to everyone who's donated to the Lane Train GoFundMe. That's
Absolutely
awesome to see the community coming together. Let's see here, Nick. There was a question I wanted to bring up for you.
Sure.
A lot of people in the chat. Not really a question, just more of a statement. There was a intriguing comment here. Where'd it go? I thought I bookmarked it. Will says, LOL, Shine driving to get Cho. Are you practicing like the route right now?
Yes.
Many are speculating.
Yes. I actually had work today. We had double time today and yesterday. So nice day or two of work on the weekend. Make some extra money.
Very nice. And is it true you're having Dylan Terriman on your program tonight?
Yes. 8 o'clock tonight. Dylan will be with me. And we are going to do a review. We did a training camp preview show a few weeks ago on Sunday night, and we're going to do a review of storylines that we were looking at, and we're going to do a little bit of a season preview tonight too. So if you guys are around, 8 o'clock, the Nick Shine Show on YouTube, come on by. It'll be fun.
You like how I seamlessly plugged your show? That's a professional move right there.
It's smooth transition. It's seamless with you, man. It's perfect. This is why you're the GOAT.
Nick Shine, you're the man. I'll talk to you soon. I appreciate you calling in.
Be good, everybody. Enjoy the holiday weekend. Go Jets. Game week.
Nobody gives a shit.
Just kidding. We love you, Nick. Hit the like button. All right, last chance to get in on the raffle here. We're about an hour and a half into the show. couple super chats I want to get caught up on, and then shout out some memberships that were gifted. Cincy Matt in the raffle for 2. What's up, Cincy Matt? Jake, why is Will McDonald continue to fly under the radar when talking about the defense? He will show out again this year and be the best defensive player. Raffle off a McDonald jersey. Amen, Cincy Matt. The reason why I haven't done McDonald jerseys yet, the Jets store themselves don't have a ton of McDonald jerseys available because he changed numbers. He went to number 9. As far as McDonald flying under the radar, I do agree with you. I mean, it's tough to say he's a breakout candidate when he did break out with 10.5 sacks last year after not playing a lot as a rookie. But I do think Will McDonald has way more to his game this year that we're going to see. First off, having Jermaine back is going to help him. Having Quinnen and Harrison Phillips together is also going to help Will McDonald. I think he's going to be coached better too, right? They're allowing him to do more from a pass rush standpoint. Bull rush moves we're now seeing. That was the whole thing with Glenn over the summer when asked about his coaching, talking about McDonald. So I think McDonald's going to be awesome. I do. Hopefully he goes out there and he has 12, 13, 14 sacks this year. I think that's possible. I really do. It will help if the Jets are in games and they're not trailing. More opportunities to rush the quarterback. Bino writes in, what in the actual F is Brokeback 666 really doing with that drill?
We're working here still. Just got the second one put in. What a pain in the ass.
Are you watching the show back?
Yeah, I'm trying to put the second one together right now. We just got the second one put in after minutes of trying to drill it all in. All right, there's number 2.
Hey,
Jake,
if
you had my drills and tools, you'd be actually learning this stuff. But don't worry, you're gonna get there one day.
I don't need to drill anything,
if I ever take you to a Harley Davidson place, I'm putting you on a motorcycle and see if we can get you on a Harley. And so you go.
Right. That makes sense.
Now let's get back to here. Number 3 ready. All right, time it out.
Hey, do they call you Beast the Builder? Beast? Apparently, this is an all-day affair, drilling into a jacket.
Oh, I'll tell you, this is not easy. You try doing this, you could ask many of the bands like Sabatron, Metallica, Megadeth, Motorhead, and they'll tell you the same thing. This ain't easy building this stuff. You got to be really good to do this stuff. You got to be tough, you got to be smart, and you got to know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, then you're just a rookie who doesn't have the tools or the brains. And
wow. Crazy things happening in the Beast Attic. Hey now. Austria Jet fan, the latest Asmaniac to enter the raffle. He's in for 5. Sauce jersey. Coming up. Happy birthday to Sauce Gardner. That's why we're giving away a Sauce jersey today. And I'm giving away a signed Sauce jersey on Tuesday. So if you want a chance to win that, you have to gift a membership to enter the weekly raffle that also features a Sack Exchange signed jersey and a Justin Fields signed jersey. J-Boy, another entry. He's in for 1. Thank you very much, J-Boy. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Up next on the Gusbuster Hotline is...
I got my Iron UJ. I hope you like my Jets take. You know they call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Hi, Jake.
Hello, David T.
Hey, Beast is so valuable to us, his knowledge of life. I never known anybody that could be so philosophical about dressing up a hot dog.
I've never seen someone drill the way he drills.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I want to shout out Ricky, New York. the whole Florida State thing, but the getting, leading into the Jets, this morning I got up before I even had coffee because I didn't see the Florida State game yesterday. I got on my phone and it showed the score, and I'm like, oh my God, my eyes lit up, just like that. Watched the highlights, and so I'm thinking of Ricky New York, and I'm thinking, boy, you know what? From last year to this year, and our jet situation, and I know Ricky was a big proponent of signing Aaron Glenn. Anyway, why not us? I mean, hopefully we got the coaching, we got the talent. Pittsburgh is definitely a winnable game. Why not us? Why can't we turn it around the first game of the year?
I mean, look, there's surprises in the NFL every single year. And there's also a lot of upsets in week 1 naturally too. So why not? Why not?
Yeah, you're right, Jake. Isn't it in like the first couple of games, you no matter who the team is, you're really trying to get the feel of everything.
Especially when you talk about like the first game of the season. Like how many times have we seen a wacky result that ends up meaning nothing, even in Jets history, right? I remember they destroyed the Lions Monday night in 2018, and then they lost to the Dolphins in week 2, right? Like there's always crazy things that happen.
Yeah, I remember that well. I think the quarterback he threw a interception the first play of the game, I believe.
Yeah, 100%. That was Darnold.
Yeah, Sam Darnold. But yeah, you're right about the first, and so I'm kind of glad that we're getting the opportunity to play Aaron Rodgers, new team and all that kind of stuff. I'm hoping he comes in rusty, raw. He just got married. Maybe his head's not into it. Any edge we can get, we're going to take, Jake.
Look, winning week 1, you can't say it's a must win when there's 16 other games after, but it's a huge game for the Jets because of the upcoming schedule, what it means for what Glenn's trying to establish and get people to buy in. Like if they lose and they look bad, the honeymoon's over right away for Aaron Glenn.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I totally agree. And I'm doing the Peter Castro. I'm thinking nothing but 100% positive, and we're gonna win that game 17-10. Jets, Jake.
17-10.
That's my prediction.
Sign me up for that, ladies and gentlemen. David T.
I got my eye on you. Checkmate me full screen. It's fireball whiskey time. David motherfucking T.
Let's go, David T. Let's go. Anthony Logerado, who's been winning and winning and winning in our raffles. Bang! By the way, Anthony, your signed Nick Mangle jersey went out yesterday because of the holiday. Expected on either Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe Friday at the latest. Hey, Jake, if I win today, please forward it to Chris B. I can't take all the winning. LOL. 1 week away. Let's go, Jets. Wow, very nice of you, Anthony. But I'm putting you in the weekly raffle for 5, so you still got a chance to win there. Black Gypsy in the house. Another gifted membership. Hey, now. Thank you, Black Gypsy. Boomtown says, ask everyone Survivor pool last year that took the Bengals over the Pats. Upsets happened. That was me. I got eliminated week 1 last year in the Survivor pool. So upsets do happen. And this wouldn't be a big upset. Like, go on FanDuel right now. You'll see the Jets are 3-point underdogs. And it could move to 2.5 by the time we get to that game. Like, that's not a crazy thought by any means at all. I think the Jets absolutely have a great chance to win. It's not going to be easy, but this wouldn't be like the most shocking of upsets if they pulled it off. By the way, I'm looking at the line right now. The line has moved. The Jets are now 2.5-point underdogs at FanDuel Sportsbook. So it's already moved down a point, which means there's money coming in on the Jets. Team at home, week 1, getting points. So if you didn't bet the Jets at +3, now it's too late. Down to 2.5. Maybe it closes at 2, closer to kickoff. Looking at the odds right now on FanDuel. Let's see. I want to make sure I didn't miss any comments. Nate says, Jake, thoughts on the Jets front office use of analytics compared to other organizations? I'm not sure, Nate, because it's all new. I don't know like how analytic driven Darren Muji is, for example, when it comes to evaluating players. I do know this. The Jets have hired a lot of specific analytic people to their front office. There's been at least 3 or 4 people they've hired for positions there. So they have way more people in that department than they've had, which I think is a good thing because they were behind the times, apparently, compared to other organizations. I just hope it helps. By the way, at this point, some betting advice, take it or leave it. If you're going to wait for the points on the Jets at 2.5, just take them on the money line to win the game. Because if you look at the odds right now, if you bet the Jets at +2.5, it's -105. Take the Jets on the money line and just get them at +120. Meaning if you bet 100 on the Jets, you'll win 120. It's close enough. I would bet 100 to win 120, for example, on the money line. But we'll see. All right. Last chance to get in here. I'm putting the names together for our raffle. It's your last chance to enter the weekly raffle, too. Fields jersey, Sack Exchange jersey, Sauce Sign jersey, our top prizes. Gusbuster Hotline, we head back to. We're standing by. Is Big Sexy.
Still working.
How long does it take you to drill into a jacket?
You got to time it out, condition, and also prep it. And sure, it's going to take a little bit of finger work. You just got to press it in with your fingers. Like, you got to press. Like, yeah, not easy. Now we're going to get down to, now we're getting down to, we only have a couple screws left. We'll be all right. I can't see it. Get back there. And I'm working with a 3/8 drill, and we're working real hard at this. Now, this is the hard part. Got to time it, and then find that hole and get it in place. This is going to be real fun. This is where the fun begins, right? Okay, now, right, here's the hole. Now, there we go. Come on.
Peace, thank you. For whatever that was. It never ends around here, folks. You never know what's happening.
Come on, bitch. There. Gotcha. Now, you're mine. There we go. There. There you go. Time it out. Very nicely. There we go. I got a meatball. Not done yet. I'm working. I would like for someone to do the Wheel of Champions, please. Bullshit. I'll sleep. It's a lot easier for everybody. right there. There you go. There we go.
Look at those meaty claws.
Yeah, that's tough. That's called hard work. You know, that's appreciation when you put your time in. There we go. Get the fuck in there. There. Oh, wow. What a bitch. Oh. And
all right, Beast. Thank you. In the meantime, we'll check back in with Beast before we spin the wheel of champions. Ladies and gentlemen, have you seen what's happening with the memberships? Not one, but 220 spots. 40 gifted memberships just came in. First from Jay and then from Frank P. Holy hell, sound the alarms. Yeah.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
It's all happening. Hit it.
Now, give me money. Or I shoot him. And I shoot all you motherfuckers. And then we take it. Your choice, bitches.
Oh, my goodness. I have my umbrella, my Gustbuster umbrella for Jay and Frank. 40 spot of gifted memberships. You know what that means? It means it's raining channel memberships. Here we go. I'm going to try and read all the names. Do you think YouTube will give me all of them? Maybe, maybe not, but I'm going to try. Here we go. First things first. These are from the great Jay Perez, Jets Runny, Dre Day, TJ Begg, Rick, Gary the Snail, Jose Sanchez, Beast the Driller, Eric Rivera, Iowa Jet Fan, Tyrone Garcia, Idaho Jets, Travis Preheim, Who's Your Daddy, Sean Evans, Big Loyal, The Power, Dean, Stephen T, Sal Pizzuto, all receiving a gifted membership right there from the great Jay Perez. But wait, there's more. Now to Frank P's 20 spot of channel memberships. Here we go. Shane Tuttle, Alan, you still have gonorrhea, Jersey Mike's, Z Breathe, Matt from L5, Boone to Sesame Street, David A, The Lovely Sarah, John, Late Night, I'm Taj 4K, Juice De Niro, Carl, Ernesto Rivera, Gonzo Badger, JVP, George Kandaki, Josh Ellis, SJ345. That apparently was another 20, and somewhere in there was a one spot from Party with Peg and Artie. How about that? 40 at the literal buzzer as I'm about to get the names together and spin the wheel. Let's go. Hit the jet chant. Let's go. Let's go. If you got a membership there, make sure you thank either Jay or Frank P. Love that. Ladies and gentlemen, we check back in right now with Bob the Builder.
I got gas right now. Oh.
Beast. Beast. We can't hear you. What happened to your mic?
Yeah. Timing out 2 and 3.
Unmute your mic.
What? Hold on 1 minute. It's not a foot race. We're not. Oh shit.
Okay, Beast. Let's see. Actually, it might have been an issue on my end. I'm looking at my StreamYard here. Hold on. Testing. It was me. Beast, that was my fault. You're good.
Thumbs up.
How's the drilling? Hey, lower your camera. We can't see your head.
Yeah, well, I'm bending down because I'm trying to find out where that hole is on the second round. I'm doing a third round now.
Hey, you got to move the camera down.
We're trying to fill as many as we can get because You know how hard doing all this is? This right here. You see these spikes right here? These are a pain in the ass to put in. You gotta remember something. These don't come cheap. You know what spikes are? They're like $9 a piece, almost $5 or $10 a piece. And when I order these, they don't come that cheap. Nothing isn't cheap, folks. It's called you want to earn your respect. Hey, in the words of Tony Soprano, those who get respect earn respect. Would you not do that, please? That's disgusting. I'm trying to get back to work. I want to finish these spikes off, and then I'm going to take another hot shower, give my little boy his food of the day, and enjoy the peace and quiet. And then maybe later on, I don't know. I already finished all my SummerSlam, so I might as well just kick back and watch Baby's Day Out. A great, great movie, by the way. Now, let's go to the Wheel of Champions.
Nobody gives a shit.
Now, I was going to go to the Wheel, Beast, but people are fascinated by the drilling thing here, so I can't leave yet.
Okay, well, get ready for more because there's more to come. No. Here. Let's go to the Wheel of Champions. Nobody gives a shit. Enjoy the day. Let's get back to work.
Joining us right now is a new member of the ESPN family. He's also an
Nobody gives a shit.
Hold on. I'm having some glitches here, Rich.
Oh, that was great. That was perfect. Nobody gives a shit.
All right, raffle is actually coming up. Beast, you're unbelievable. Dre Day says, Beast, you got 10 strands. Just cut it off already. Wise words from Dre Day, the Jets fan. All right, one last caller. He called in, and he's today's closer. Ladies and gentlemen, Clifton time.
Good morning, Jake.
Hello, Mr. Clifton.
So, with all this stuff about competition ongoing beyond training camp for Tittman and Myers, do we think that maybe that the punt returner job is still ongoing as well, and maybe they're just not telling us? Because you figured that either of those guys, Gibson and Pritchett, might have made it through waivers, right? Maybe they felt like it was close, and Gibson had just edged him out because of his ability to field within camp. But, I mean, we all saw it. Pritchett's more electric than Gibson is, right? Like, you keep him on the practice squad as the developmental guy, and then, Gibson hasn't done enough. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't cost any money. You let him go, and you plug Pritchett right in, right?
You know what I think it is? I think they trust Gibson catching punts more than they do Pritchett. Pritchett had that muff against the Eagles, and he made up for it, obviously, in that game. But that sticks with coaches, as Rich Cimini was talking about. I agree with him. Like, I just feel like they just want someone they know is going to catch the ball. And I think they're more confident to this point in Gibson. That said, we don't have to agree with it. I would have rolled the dice with Pritchett. I liked what I saw.
I mean, I think it was the Giant game. He was a human pogo stick in the passing game, right? Like, there was a couple things along the sideline where he really showed some great.
That was the Eagle game.
The Eagle game. Okay. Yeah, he showed some great change of movement stuff that we really haven't seen here in quite some time. So that was my only thought.
Kyle,
Enjoy the rest of the weekend, man.
are you doing any drilling like Beast?
No, I'm taking it easy.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, there he goes. The great Kyle Clifton.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Kyle, thank you. One last check-in with BB666, Beast the Builder. Beast, your mic's blocking everything.
Give me a second. I'm trying to find my screws. And I'm trying to find it. There we go. There's my last screw of the day. I'll tell you. Like they say from a movie, man. What a bitch.
Why are you so out of breath from sitting there drilling?
If you ever built one of these jackets, you'd be knocked down really hard. I'll tell you, this is not the easiest test at all. I'll tell you, building these three, not easy.
Really?
The first two were $200 a piece. This one is $260 that I put together. You know why? Because it has value to it. And I was gonna go with the black and white, but unfortunately, they didn't have the certain ones. But you know what? You win some, you lose some. But you know what? You learn to live and fight another day. He who lives and fights must learn to live and fight another day. Remember that. Now we got one more to do, and I'm gonna do this one more, and then I'm gonna take a hot shower and go and relax, and maybe have a peanut butter sandwich.
Don't you want a cold shower?
What are you, nuts?
You're sweating.
So? Do you ever hear the old saying, no pain, no game? No pain, no game. Learn to deal with that. Bullshit. It's like the meme, deal with it. Oh. Deal with it. You ever hear deal with it? Nobody gives a shit. Get that hole, and then that last thing to do, and then finalize this SOB to the ground. If I get this in here, it'll be good. Now, the hard part. Oh boy, this is the fun part. Come on, get in there.
Beast, I've been live for 2 hours, and you're still not done with this drilling. I'm concerned.
You try doing what I've done. I've been doing this for years. Learning.
Clearly not.
No, I don't think you're quite understanding what most of these bands do. You look at the bands of Testament, Exodus, even Death Angel, Metallica, Motorhead, Megadeth, Metal Church. These guys put their lives on the line to build something like these things. You take a look at them. Take a look. I'm going to give you the homework assignment, and you can take a look at all the bands that have done it all. They've done this thing because they put their metal to the test. I've put my metal to the test for a long time. It's because it's all about blood. It's all about sweat. It's all about tears, agony, and pain. You want to earn your fair share and you want to earn your keep, come knock on my door and I'll give you the best treatment yet known to mankind. Okay? Now I'm sweating, but you know what? That sweat is a lot of things. That's greatness. It's God. It's everything you work for. It's your dignity. It's your life. It's everything you put your heart and soul into. Now, I'd like to see you try. Okay? Now, I'm gonna get back here, finish it, and then we're gonna finalize it. And then after today, we're gonna get back to some action. And tomorrow, enjoy your day on ESPN. I'd like to come on next Sunday, but I don't have the number. But if you want to send it, you can send it. But I'm not gonna waste my time on other shit that doesn't make any sense. So enjoy the rest of the day. Let's go down to the final event, the main event, the Wheel of Champions.
Wise words from the Beast, who is still drilling his jacket after 2 hours. Ladies and gentlemen, someone's about to win a sauce jersey.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Good luck to everyone who entered. Only one can win, though. If you win, I need to know your size, your address, the color you want the jersey in, green or white. and obviously your name. Good luck to everybody. We have the best listeners in all sports. They make it possible for us to be able to do all these raffles. Here we go. The winner of a Sauce jersey is J-Boy. Hey. Hey, it remains true. If you gift before anyone else, the Asmaniac gods typically reward you. J-Boy, 10:39 a.m. Eastern. First in the raffle today, and he's your big winner of our Sauce jersey. He's in the chat. J-Boy, shoot me an email, and we'll make sure we get you set with the jersey. Awesome. Again, thank you to everyone. Hope you're all having an awesome Labor Day weekend. We are going to be back Tuesday with our usual 2 shows per day, leading you right into week 1. I am working tomorrow, though. I'm on ESPN New York from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. So if you want to hear me talk Jets, talk New York sports, doing our morning show tomorrow on 880 ESPN New York. So looking forward to that one. All right. On that note, again, thank you all. Enjoy your Sunday. Got some college games on later. By the way, absolute disgrace that the Yankees don't play on Labor Day tomorrow. How baseball could be so stupid with its schedule is mind-boggling. But I'll save that full rant for the radio show tomorrow a.m. On that note, I'll leave you guys with a clip that I feel like needs to be played on a day like today. That clip is a special one. Ladies and gentlemen, sit back and enjoy what we're calling right here the Little Joey Experience.
Happy birthday to you.
Does he want regular style or does he want like heavy metal style? What do you want, Beast?
A little Anthrax mixture with Public Enemy going.
Can you do that? I don't know if I could do that, but I could go heavy metal or normal, whichever you want.
Hey, heavy metal with a little mixture of.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Since the live stream is going so well and so many people are watching, I don't know if you're aware of this, but my garbage man's birthday is next week. Can we get another show from you to honor him?
Shut up!
Happy birthday to Joey. Happy birthday to you.
Woo! He likes Kevin James, doesn't he? He likes doing this too. This is fun.
Oh, look at that.
Are you ready to go in?
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Robert C. is on the line. Hey, Robert, did you brush your hair with a vacuum?
It just pops up like they say.
Your hair looks amazing.
Yeah, we got the house remodeled.
It's all different.
The walls got painted. Whoa, living on a prayer. They asked me to sing Living on Prayer. Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Okay.
Bravo, Robert C. That was a tremendous call. Robert C. has called back in. Hey, Robert.
Hi, Jake. I'm decorating my house, and I haven't been able to call in a while. I just wanted to say hi because it's been too long, calling in. But the house, I'll show you my house.
Where's Tammy, Robert?
I don't know. Tammy, say hi. Yeah.
You want to sing more Bon Jovi for us?
I don't know. Yeah, halfway there. Sorry, I didn't write much material because I just threw this together.
Thank you for the call, Robert. Thank you very much. Robert C. called it twice. What a show. Gator, man. Try explaining the show to someone who doesn't watch the show. Kyle says the fact that Gator has so many wigs laying around his house is awesome.
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you gotta make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.